But it's just a sweet, sweet fantasy, baby. When I close my eyes, you come and take me. It's so deep in my daydreams, but it's just a sweet, sweet fantasy, baby.
I remember the first time I heard Cornel West use the phrase the Santa Clausification of Jesus. It was on a TV show that I believe it was the Tavis Smiley show. It was a phrase I later learned he turned from his own thoughts on how America has treated the legacy of MLK Jr. The idea that the powers that be would turn a provocative, good trouble stirring narrative into one that pacifies our base, need to be coddled consumeristic sentimentalities. And so, in the spirit of that phrase, I've come up with my own phrase about Jesus. The cutification of Jesus. We want a cute baby Jesus because that baby is no threat to the empires and powers that be. We want a cute baby Jesus because that baby demands nothing of us. But even that baby Jesus was such a beacon of hope that cosmological space-observing wizards traveled great distances to pay homage to Jesus as king. And that cute baby was such a threat to the empire that even as an infant, he was hunted down by the powers that be in order to snuff out that hope. But the cutification of Jesus, to only see him in swaddling clothes, laying down in a manger, infantilized for all eternity, is a fantasy. So much so that this infatuation with baby Jesus makes its way into pop culture. Dear 8 pounds, 6 ounces, newborn infant Jesus, don't even know a word yet. Ricky Bobby, anyone. The cutified baby Jesus plays to the empire's vision of itself as a stern, protective parent who only uses its power to keep the children safe. And almost always, these children are conquered peoples that have been oppressed in the name of Pax Romana, Roman peace, a peace brought by the brutal crushing of opposition. The cutified baby Jesus beckons the empire to protect it. This is why I believe we have such a power-hungry defensive version of Christianity that sees itself as the defenders of the faith instead of followers of the crucified one who are willing to pick up their crosses instead of putting others on them. We need only look at Mary's song in Luke 1, known as Mary's Magnificat. He has performed mighty deeds with his arm. He has scattered those who are proud in their inmost thoughts. He has brought down rulers from their thrones, but has lifted up the humble. He has filled the hungry with good things, but he has sent away the rich empty. He has helped his servant Israel, remembering to be merciful to Abraham and his descendants forever, just as he promised our ancestors. This is Mary's response to finding out that she is pregnant with the Messiah, with the Christ. No wonder the powers that be are terrified of this baby. This baby is a direct threat to the powers that be. In Revelation 12, we see similar proclamations about what the baby means. We see an allusion to Psalm 2, which talks about the downfall of nations that would chain and shackle others. The Messiah is the one who comes to set captives free, to break the chains of bondage, and throw off the shackles of oppression. No wonder the powers that be are terrified of this baby. This is why the story told in Matthew about the birth of Jesus tells us that those in power hunted this baby down to kill him because this baby represented the downfall of the empire. I would say this baby still represents that, which is why the empire has always sought to co-opt the image of Jesus, especially baby Jesus, as a strategy of survival, turning the image of baby Jesus into a fantasy. Rome co-opts the image of Jesus and dislocates that image through the promises of power. We are seeing this still happen today when we see the powerful hold up Bibles in the midst of oppression as a sign of power instead of liberation. When we celebrate Christmas with a wanton consumerism instead of liberation, we wrest the image of Jesus away from Mary's song or from the Psalms of liberation that Revelation 12 point us to, and instead hold it up as a mascot of empire. Let me take a step back into Revelation 12 and the conflict between the dragon and the woman who gives birth to the child of liberation. Revelation is a book full of imagery and allusions. It is a book that uses these tools to speak about confronting Roman imperial power in a world that kills all those who do. So this is a way of veiling the language, but in a way that the book's original readers know what is being said. The use of 7 heads, 10 horns, and 7 crowns tells the reader that this dragon represents Rome, and Rome is in the image of the Seleucid Empire that persecuted Israel. Rome is built on 7 hills, and the 10 horns point the reader to the fact that Rome is persecuting in the tradition of Israel's opposition, bringing the reader back to the book of Daniel chapter 7. And finally, the 7 crowns account for the ancient Roman monarchy, another move to key the reader into what the dragon represents in this story. All that to say that the author of Revelation is going right at the Roman Empire when they place the dragon and the woman in opposition. The Roman Empire is seeking to destroy that which God is using to bring liberation from oppression. The baby represents that liberation, and the woman is the vessel of deliverance. The woman is pursued but never caught. She is protected by the earth, because even the earth conspires for liberation from the imperial forces that ravage, or those who would seek to kill, steal, and destroy. The woman represents the bringing of healing to this world. The dragon represents destruction. The two cannot coexist. You cannot heal while destroying the world. When we read further into the story presented in Revelation, we see the defeat of the dragon. We see destruction and desolation reversed as the land is healed and the people are liberated, and the relationship between creator and creation is restored. This is what Christmas is pointing us to: healing, liberation, and restoration. Anything else is a cheap knockoff meant to distract us and co-opt the image of Jesus in the service of the empire. And here's the thing I want to close with. The earliest followers of Jesus did not celebrate Christmas. Ultimately, Christmas was adopted and adapted as the empire began to co-opt the image of Jesus. I don't say that to say that we shouldn't celebrate Christmas. In fact, I say it to say the opposite. We need to celebrate Christmas, but we need to subvert the empire as we do it. The empire wants us to be caught up in the cutification of Jesus. But we must reject that image and in place remind the world that the birth of Jesus, the birth of the baby, has always pointed to healing, liberation, and restoration. These are the gifts that God is bringing into the world through Jesus, and hopefully us as the body of Christ.
But it's just a sweet, sweet fantasy, baby. When I close my eyes, you come and take me. It's so deep. my daydreams, but it's just a sweet, sweet fantasy, baby.